I have a little bit of a block in here. I just used some kind of vomity color with some Payne's Gray on
Okay.
a pink background, and I am hoping for the best. So, where did you take this pic of this old? Is this a? Is
I
this
think it's
some?
Cadillac DeVille. I don't know what year.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she's on
Yeah,
Esplanade.
I thought it was a DeVille. Okay.
I think it says Sedan DeVille on the side there. Yeah, Sedan DeVille. Yeah, on Esplanade.
Really?
Not far from Royal. Yeah, there's there's an empty lot right there that sometimes they put like movie props and stuff in. So I'm not sure if that's what this is for, but that was where it was. It was all chained up. Couldn't get in the field with it, but I took this over the fence, which was cool.
That's cool. It's kind of a neat condensed image.
Mm-hmm.
With the back end of the car and everything sort of flattens because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
I know that I think I'm going to have to remove in my composition. Like, I'm just going to remove some of those houses right now. I'm going to say adieu.
Yeah, I actually, I don't know if this is cheating, but I blurred the background out of my picture.
With you,
I didn't even want to be tempted.
hate to break it to you, but it's all cheating.
It's all shit. Yeah, that's true. I should have done this thing on site.
Well, but it's also dangerous to get into telling yourself what you should and should not have done in order to maintain some kind of honor, some kind of painter's honor.
It's a code.
Yeah. The
There is
code
no
that
honor.
the code that shall not be spoiled. And that is not the right color, but I'm just going to put that in there anyway. It's green enough. Yeah, so you have been doing a lot of plein air lately with the plein air group, and
Yeah.
you've been doing a lot of posting, and I want to know all about it because I have done a little bit of plein air painting over the past 6 weeks, but I've only been out like 3 times. So I'm pretty sure you have me beat.
Yeah, you gotta change that, man. It's addictive. Yeah, we go out once a week, and it's been great. People keep coming back.
Yeah.
People are excited about it. Like I said last time, like I don't know if this would have even been able to be a thing if it weren't for COVID. Oddly enough, because people actually want to get outside and do something.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's a good group of people. We went to
Especially Jackie. Jackie
Yeah.
definitely needs to get out more.
Yeah, she went out and painted with us. She's been out with us like 3 times now, I think. And you know what, man? Her paintings are great.
Oh, I'm sure. And if she's listening right now, she's going to be screaming, "But no, I'm picking up the nurdles."
She's a nerdler.
Yeah. Which, if people don't know what the nurdles are,
Yeah.
they are little plastic balls that wash ashore. I guess they are. I'm not sure what they're from, but
yeah, they're plastic pellets that get melted down to make other plastic things, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, they're
Because
awful.
I've seen them not in that area. I've seen them, I think, in California or Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what they were. But ever since her posts, I feel like I'm informed.
We're very knowledgeable now. Thanks to Jackie.
So, tell me about where you've been painting with your plein air group.
Yeah, we do hit up City Park quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Is that your influence, or is that other people's?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like this whole year started off like the moment I started doing this and doing it with Spencer a lot. It's just an easy, we like doing the green landscapes that you so detest.
Yeah. Well, because they're unnatural, but sure. Go ahead.
Unnatural. Yeah, we do the park a lot, but people have been doing some cool suggestions. Jackie recommended that we get over to Algiers, and so we painted like the New Orleans skyline a couple times from like under that bridge. So we had some good shade. That was pretty cool.
Good.
We actually see what are we doing this time. So like we don't decide what we're doing, Chris, until like the day before. Like we started off real good and we're like, yeah, we'll message everybody 3 days before and let them know where we'll be.
Seriously.
So now we've been pretty shitty about it, but we need to get back to it.
Well, it sounds almost like a secret club where you have to keep changing the meetup point because of the mob or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we write it on chalk on the back of like benches in City Park, and then
excellent.
Everybody will know where we'll be.
Yep.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Everybody's great. And then I'm out there. I think I've been out every day this week, at least for a couple hours, trying to do something. Done a lot of car butts, as I like to call them. This is my 5th car for this week. Been trying to do like plein air car stuff because I normally only do cars for photos, and I find it so much harder to do out there.
Yeah,
it's such a useful skill.
I think I've only maybe painted just like a handful of vehicles of my own volition without being prompted by a commission or something. I'm not really a car guy. My father, who was a mechanic for like over 30 years, was definitely a car guy. All of his friends were, and I never got into it. Like, I did not inherit the car enthusiast gene. I am much more interested in general by boats and trains, if I had to pick.
Yeah, those are fun.
I know. Yeah, I know that part of the American way is to own a car, and then you are supposed to work hard or something, and then get a cooler car.
Yeah, you keep going up.
Yeah, and then more people want to hang out with you because you have such a great car. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no desire to have a cool car. I just like looking at cool cars.
I've never had what other people consider, I think, a cool car, although I have driven a few that I really, really enjoyed. And one of them was actually my Saturn. It was the first tow vehicle that we had when we got going on the road. And it was great. And then we were hit from behind on Carrollton, and it was totaled. So then we've kind of just been doing Hondas ever since, because they're towable, they're flat towable vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
And the Saturn was also a flat towable vehicle. But since the car company, went out, it's not like if anything goes wrong, you can really do much to replace it. And if you are replacing it, you're replacing it with a used.
Mm-hmm.
So we just decided to switch to Honda, but I really, really like that thing.
Yeah. What kind of Saturn was it?
It was a Saturn Vue.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was a 2004, and the person who had it before us got all these fancy options. So we had like a Honda Pilot engine in it, and it had some other kind of bells and whistles, which I don't really recall offhand, but I know it was.
I really know nothing about cars, so it's not a big deal.
I know it was powerful, it was versatile, and the doors always opened and closed without a fuss. So I'm good with that,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I blocked in enough of the background. I think I need to start messing with the car butt here.
Car butt.
So, any interesting interactions? The only reason I ask is because I've had almost no interesting interactions ever since this whole thing started with painting in public, because I really haven't done it too often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah. Were people enthusiastic? Were they just kind of okay? Well, now's the perfect time to tell tall tales. So
yeah. we had an older man like on week 3. I can't wait to post this drawing too. Older man, and we're all obviously like not wearing a mask, and we're just like we got our masks on and whatnot, but we're just like, come on man, what are you doing? Like, you're old. But he's really nice, and I just was like, at first I just like, can we just let's just do our thing, like, what are you doing, man? But he was really nice, and he kept saying that he used to draw and well, oh, cool, yeah, cool. And then he was like, actually, do you mind, like, he like asked for a pencil and a page of paper.
What?
And yeah, and one of the guys in the group was like, okay, sure. And he gave him his sketchbook, and he drew a horse in the sketchbook, and it was a pretty good horse.
Yeah.
But it was kind of out of the blue. I was not following what was going on. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. My mind immediately goes to what would compel someone who doesn't know a group of people to engage them in such a fashion where you have to like prove yourself. I mean, he could have just like come up on you, saw what you're doing, and then not said anything, and no one would have ever known that he used to draw anything.
I know.
And the world would have kept turning the same way it has been. Yeah, that's a little bit perplexing.
It was sweet
but
enough. It was strange, but it was also entertaining.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's weird. Just people like either getting too close or people like awkwardly trying to hide out of your view when you know that they're watching you.
Oh, there is always that one seemingly nice lady who thinks that through kindness she's invisible. Yes, I know. I know the person of which you speak, and it's only happened to me one time with a dude, which is why I say lady. But it's mostly been like there's this type of onlooker who kind of has like a Mrs. Claus vibe, and she's always the one who feels as though she's invisible.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the guys that walk through the park are pretty like oblivious to what we're doing.
Yeah,
They could go.
probably.
Yeah.
This other painter, Ben, and I, we our first time out to do some landscape plein air. We kind of met at this agreed upon spot, which was sort of in the mountains in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of abutted next to a trail, and it had this this kind of ballpark attached to it as well. So when we first got there, there were a good amount of people, and there were a few people walking the trail, and they were polite. And then this one very friendly woman who was by herself just came over and started taking pictures. And then after she started taking the pictures, that's when she asked if it was okay to take the pictures. And I didn't want to be that guy who pointed that out. So I just nodded, and I was like, oh, yeah, sure.
What part of you did want to be, but you stopped yourself?
Thanks for stopping by. Always, because I suddenly become the arbiter of all good social behavior as soon as I'm painting outside. Like, no matter what I've done throughout the day to be a generally difficult or shitty person, suddenly, excuse me, I am a saint out there, and I know exactly how this person's transgressions are going to make me crazy. So, yeah, it just comes from working too long out on Frenchman. There's just like this weird bias that you get. Huh.
It definitely wears you down a bit.
A little, you think? So I haven't seen a lot of like either early morning or late afternoon sessions, or kind of nocturne painting things with the group. Is that because you meet at like an agreed upon time?
Yeah, we keep it pretty scheduled at like 9:30 to 10 on Saturday mornings, just so that the schedule gets kind of a routine, so that we don't lose people.
So you only paint for a half hour there?
Oh no. That's like we either start.
Oh, you start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're generally there till like noon, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. If you're going to tell me that you had all those people show up for a half hour, wow.
Yeah, there's some pretty special there.
Yeah, that's dedication. Okay. Yeah, the structure of this car is not revealing itself in my piece right now.
Oh no, I'm just trying to fill the drawing, and then I'm going to take a look at the values, because this is complex.
It's very complex, because I mean, people know what this vehicle is, and some viewers probably even either knew someone in their family who owned one or owned one themselves. So,
So you're saying we should probably do a good job?
I always strive to do like above average. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that on the almost 30 PaintCasts I've done that everything's gone swimmingly. You know, I think
Right.
some of the worst work I've created over the course of this pandemic has been done on video and whilst talking to other people.
Mm-hmm. I think one of them was with me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah. You can relive that as often as you'd like, sir. I mean, if that's all you want to talk about this entire
we could spend
session, I'd be willing, because that was a world-class example of what not to do, how not to approach any painting ever. So.
Oh man, I'm only cracking up because how much you hated that painting.
Oh yeah, it was. It was kind of rough. So I'm gonna have to mix another color there. Yeah, I'm way too light in the background too. It kind of looks like, kind of looks like back end of a Batmobile in up against like bright sunshine. Looks a little funny right now.
I mean, hey, did they not? Okay, that's what I was gonna look up too. Was this car not one of the cars that was converted for like a Batman movie? Is that not a thing?
Well,
because it looks like one.
I mean, just looking at it now, it could have been. I know so little, as previously stated, about cars that you could go ahead and tell me that it was, and I would just believe you. And when it came up in another conversation somewhere else, like several years from now, I would parrot that bad info, and someone would say,
"That's a good opportunity.
Where did you hear that?" And I would say, "Oh, this other painter named."
Oh no, you wouldn't give me away.
Oh,
you would? You'd sell me out like that? Okay.
Oh yeah, always cite your sources if you can remember them.
There's no honor in this. Really?
Nope. I'm trying to figure out where certain parts of these shapes in the grill in the back actually fit. And yeah, I don't know if... I mean, because I'm painting... Are you painting in oil or in gouache?
This is gouache.
Gouache, okay. Yeah, you're probably able to get some higher precision in there than I am. Yeah. It kind of looks... it looks like it could go really goopy, really fast for me.
Oh. You be careful there.
Yep. I've been seeing some... Speaking of goopy, I've been seeing some photos on Instagram that other people post of Bourbon Street at night.
Oh, yeah?
And it looks like there are people out there.
Yeah, I haven't been out there.
Yeah.
I value my health.
Yep. And I'm not sure exactly what they're all doing, but they're most certainly out there. And one of them from just a few days ago looked like it was pretty packed, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was a little surprised.
Phase 3? I believe we're in phase 3 now.
Okay. Now, does that mean that some things can just open up?
Yeah, we got to-go drinks back.
Okay.
They've increased, like most places were at 50% capacity that they were limited to, and I believe we're now at 75 for like restaurants and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been out to any of the restaurants there?
I've only gone out to eat at ones that are outdoors. I just literally I can't go inside and eat. Too scared. Like they're already saying it's the number one way this spreads, so I don't know how I feel about that. But movie theaters are opening back up, and that's a weird thing for me. So you would think that would be like the number one place to not go to.
Yeah, that's really kind of strange.
But from what I've heard, people who have been, it's like you're probably one of like 4 people in the movie theater. So it's like, I don't know. Probably not for long. Probably the first week they open. But as soon as people get used to it again, people will be going, I think. And then you'll be in there with like 20 people, and you're going to feel real weird about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird time.
I've not seen any theaters open in the South where I've been in the last few months, but I keep kind of moving around, so every time something changes, like I'm probably somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. You're a little bit more not in the loop.
Yeah, I still I still am looking for like an eventual coffee place I can sit outside of. Maybe when
what have you been doing?
Maybe
How
when
have you been existing?
Nobody's around. Well, I've been having to just been having to do it here.
Yeah.
And I try to get as much in as possible at certain times of the day, because I know that at other times the puppy will just be kind of too crazy, and the kids need to do whatever they need to do. So,
puppy. When you say puppy,
the puppy. I need to move this a little.
What age are we talking about?
We are talking going on 5 months.
Oh, wow, that's a puppy.
Actually, no, she's 4 months, because I think she was born the 1st of July.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, the 1st of June. So it is 5 months.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of neat. She is full of life. We got her in the wonderful city of Rexburg, Idaho. And so we got her from somewhere, I think in Yellowstone. We met up and did the exchange and got a little ball of teeth and poop. And yeah, so we have actually traveled with her all the way back to the south here. And so she's got to experience a number of different things, like heat and the altitude change and completely different trees. And yeah, so she seems like she's having fun, but.
And are you a dog person? Have you had dogs your whole life, or what do you?
No, I grew up with a few in my family, but after I got to a certain age and they passed, my family just never got new ones.
Mm-hmm.
So for years, we didn't have any pets. I had in college some sort of pet gecko. I think it was a fat tail gecko when I was at the academy. And I got him at first because I wanted to make a sculpture of a gecko. And I was thinking about just doing it from life and scaling him up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept him, and I had this whole terrarium for him. And I had him for probably the better part of 2 years. And then I was at a friend of mine's studio, and yeah, he was kind of he was kind of restless in the little carry thing because I was moving at the time, and I thought, and then he got really sluggish after I put the AC on.
Oh no!
In the car, and I thought, well, maybe his body temperature fell too much, so I put him on the roof of my car, and I opened up the top of his thing just a little to let a beam of sunlight in, and he went over to it kind of right away, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to come right back out in a few minutes and get him. And I did all that, and then when I came back out, he was not inside the little carry thing. And he had never jumped out. I didn't think that he could jump out and escape. And he may have, or like, I didn't know, but there were hawks in the area that could have just come and swiped him up and had him for lunch. And then after that, I just kind of said to myself, I don't know if I can do any more pets. And then
that's heartbreaking.
Then we got a rescue from New Orleans.
Like when
it was on the West Bank somewhere.
Oh, probably the SPCA.
Yeah, and he was like a twice abandoned dog, but he was very cute, and my daughter really liked him right away. So we grabbed him and brought him home, and he traveled a few years with us. And then he just was kind of weird and aggressive, and we couldn't really figure out what was going on, and we didn't really get a lot of good information about where he was or the situation that he came from.
Yeah.
So he now lives with my brother-in-law in Connecticut.
Oh, that's cool. You found a good home for him, though.
Yeah, and now we have this new pup since the coronavirus hit, because my daughters had been pretty active and had a lot of friends on the road, and we were traveling. We were always like meeting up with other families, and we did a lot of rallies and things, and that all stopped. So they were not seeing anyone for quite a while, and so the women in my house decided that what we needed was a puppy.
That's smart.
So now I wake up every morning and I take her out, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what her business model is for doing her business in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some dogs are like straight up like glasses, briefcase, and they get into the office. They know the business they have to do. They do it. They punch the clock and they're out. And like this one we have now isn't sure what to wear. She hangs out by the water cooler and wants to talk to everyone else in the office. And yeah, some mornings it's like when I go out with her, it's like a full 20 minutes before she pees. And I'm just kind of standing or walking, and she's just sniffing. And I mean, I admit a few times I've actually almost pleaded with her, now I really have to go.
Please finish
like,
this out.
I shot out of bed to accommodate you. Something has to happen here, or else, like, we just have to go back.
I feel like you've got like a good Steve Martin premise for a movie going on here. You and your dog going to the bathroom.
Well, I would hope that it would be some kind of talking dog movie. I want to revive that great 90s notion that talking pets was box office gold.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know if I told after college I got to work biz dev on an animated movie, and it would have had a talking dog in it, but it was canceled to make this. Oh man, my brain just shut down just that moment. What was it canceled for? Sonic. It was canceled to make Sonic. So no talking dog movie.
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, you know the Sonic movie that came out recently?
Yeah.
With Jim Carrey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The studio was working on a couple movies at once, and then they, like 9 months into the project, they switched gears, said that they would not be hiring us any further, and that the movie was postponed for the time being. But that never got done.
Huh.
Yeah. And I think I'm outside my NDA, so I should be good. Should be good there.
Well, if we keep the rest of this PaintCast really boring, the views won't be high enough to be on the radar.
Yeah.
So then
I'm just gonna go silent now in pure fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Spence worked on that with me. We both worked on that as a team for like 9 months.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they got as far as like hiring the voice actors, having them do all their lines, and then they just unloaded it.
Were there any like famous voice actors who they got in?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to name specific names.
There were some that I was pretty excited for.
Yeah.
A Hellboy actor.
Oh.
Yeah. That was gonna be cool. Pretty good fan of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a little rough, but we found other things to do. So.
Yeah, I've had a lot of interesting gigs that really have nothing to do with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of always did them anyway. And, I'm just going to keep the suspense lit and not actually tell you about them right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun talking about it. Appreciate it.
No, I will. I mean, I will definitely say that in Rhode Island, having a night job driving for Domino's Pizza has given me lifelong nightmares of suddenly having to go back and be hired again.
Oh, God.
And work for the same people. And then I'm there and they give me an order and they've changed the whole system about how we receive and take orders. And then there's there's always something wrong. And I maybe had 5 of these
it's reoccurring.
bizarre, hilarious kind of Domino's delivery dreams, and I have yet to actually deliver a pizza in them. There's just so much mayhem that occurs.
I just laughed straight into the phone. Okay. Yeah. That's going to be loud later. I apologize. That's so funny. And that's reoccurring. You've had multiple Domino's.
Yeah.
Oof. That's rough. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, it's nothing that I'm proud of, but I'm not going to shrink in the face of my Domino's night terrors either.
Yeah.
I think, in a previous podcast with Bonnie, I described one dream where I had to deliver a bunch of pizzas to a local beach in Rhode Island, and it was like Musquamacut Beach, and it was at night, and I went there, and the whole area where these people were just kind of covered in Domino's pizza boxes, and I was trying to figure out where to step and what was going on, and it was like some kind of party, but I didn't realize what was happening. And yeah, it's like maybe something that can be worked on in 200 hours of therapy.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
I have a reoccurring dream.
Ooh, I want to know.
So you know I do the pet portraits.
Yes.
I have a reoccurring dream that I paint. Oh my God. I paint a dog named Jackson, and it is a orange Cocker Spaniel, and it's the exact same dream every single time. It's Christmas time. I miss this one painting. I jump out of bed in the morning and have to finish a painting of Jackson the Cocker Spaniel, which I do from start to finish throughout the whole dream, and I email that off, and everything is fine. And I go, whew, that was a close one. And then I wake up, and it's absolutely horrible. I've painted that dog I probably had that dream at least 6 times. I have it every holiday season.
Wait, so you have to keep on repainting?
It's the same dog.
The same dog.
I don't realize it's the same dog until I wake up and I go, holy shit. I just painted Jackson. Oh, God. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, it's almost like karma. Because you pet portrait people have you take some of the worst commission requests possible.
No, we do. Yes, we do.
And they're horrific photos.
Mm-hmm.
And
given to me by drunk people.
And then you say to yourself, you know what? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Please hand over your money.
Hand me the money. I can make this happen.
Yeah. That's about right. You pretty much got it
there. I do not have
there.
the ability to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once. Yeah, I'm at like the third pet portrait that I have declined now,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels right. It feels like I was just gonna torture myself doing it anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I got plenty used to the commissioned type, like the problems and the stress that comes with commission work from doing the studio work and having somebody crit things and opinions I don't agree with and just not caring kind of thing. Like, okay, well, if that's what the client wants, go for it. Like, you
yeah,
know, it can be a little bit more rough, like since it's my business and it's my time and I'm not getting paid by the hour, that I can get a little bit more frustrated with people that want obscene revisions. But at the
hmm
end of the day, it's not going to take too much time, so it's fine.
I would like to know about this obscene revision.
Oh God. Yeah, there's been. I mean, it's like I said, some of the people that are ordering from me are ordering at the market, and sometimes I can tell they're drunk. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take the drunk money. But it does sometimes lead itself into a problem where they don't even know what photo they gave me, and they're like, "That doesn't look anything like."
Oh.
Yeah, and then I have to be like, "Really?" Because this is the photo, and I feel like it's pretty close. And then there's silence for like a week, and then they're like, "Would you mind making some edits? And here's a better photo." And I'm like, sure. Because you gave me a photo that, like, this pet looks like a different color in this photo. Like, I could never have guessed this wasn't a brown cat, Just
Yeah.
stuff like that. Normally small stuff. Normally. It's a weird job, man.
Yeah, I've done. I've only done one living pet, and the rest of them have been posthumous. The
Yeah, pretty
the
common.
the posthumous pet thing is preferable over the living pet
Right.
because someone said that I didn't make the dog. I didn't give him I didn't make him look distinguished enough in an email,
Oh.
and so then I said, "Oh, well, I mean, may I see a distinguished photo of him then?"
God, you must be such a smart ass with them.
I really, really just should be a better person and know that about myself. And I should have declined the offer for that one, especially. And I didn't. And then I get myself in that situation. And the photo that was sent to me was almost the exact same one that I received in the first
that's
place.
always fun.
And then,
Sometimes they do send you the exact same one. That's always hard to explain.
yeah.
You're like, wait, are you saying that it's so far off from the one you sent me that you're sending it again? Or what statement are you making? Because my feelings might get a little hurt at this point. Like,
yeah. I don't mind a pet portrait for people I know who
really? I don't know.
I like.
That almost seems worse.
Because I will. I let them know up front what to expect, and that it's not really my bag.
Sure.
And I double check, and I make sure that they're cool with me not really not really being the type of guy to expertly capture the essence of a dearly departed pet. And I'm actually happy with a few of the results from those. It's just that one little, I forget what the breed was even. He was like a little white and brown dog, and he just had such a mean look about him.
A mean look, or like, what did you say?
He had such a mean yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought it would be something that the client would see right away and be like, "That's my little guy."
Oh yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, the thing I'm not a fan of is having to tell people that their dog is the cutest I've ever seen. It's been nice to avoid that, not being at the market. Like, that's a good thing that's happening by not being at the market, because I can't tell somebody that their dog's the cutest I've ever seen one more time. Oh, and the only thing that's worse than that is when they say, after they say that, they go, "Oh, and I'm sure you get that all the time. You probably have to say that all the time, but isn't it?" And I'm like, oh, you were so close to recognizing that this is an annoying thing to say, but then you doubled down.
Yeah.
It's so much worse.
That's a hard double down, too.
Yeah, it is. It's so annoying.
Okay. I don't think that the green I just put in is working. Yes. It might be too small of a scale for me to not have really planned anything out too much.
Yeah, what size are you doing? Is that a 6x6?
Yeah, it's relatively small, yeah. So I think I lost the ability to get some of the finer detail in there. And when I say detail, I don't mean little individual snotty parts. I mean, like, proportion.
Yeah.
Because when I think about detail, it's rarely like actual small pieces of paint. It's little things like accuracy. Oh, maybe I'll just scratch it in at the very last minute.
Yeah. What was the under? You had pink on that, on the bottom of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
It was pink underpainting. Yeah.
Do you normally do pink?
I like pink, really bright orange.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably should have went with a yellow on this particular one, because there's enough violet and blue.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been interesting to see. Yeah, my intent to get like a really bright orange, like a bright light orange highlight in the reflective areas didn't really work out either.
There is a
man. Yeah, there are some like peachy colors. I should probably be using a brush, but at this point I am too impatient, and I've lost enough of the painting that I don't care too much about it. Are you supposed to not say that on these things?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh well. There's no code though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing these for the man, so.
Man, oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, that's a little bit more tail-like, maybe.
What kind of time do we have here? How fast should I be doing this?
We are right about at like an hour.
No, we are right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to set a timer next time. This goes so fast.
It does. I don't think I'm going to do anything to this painting. I think I'm just going to leave it exactly how I leave it now. And
I think I'm close.
I'll just chalk it up to another bout of poor planning. Can that be darker? No, it probably shouldn't. No, it doesn't look good dark, Chris.
What part are you working on?
Crap. I was just about to put in some fence there. I'll go back. I'll go back in quick and just throw some lines in.
I'm so sorry for the screaming parrot in the background. I don't know if you've noticed it, but you're probably going to hear it when you watch this again.
No.
He's being okay. He's doing it very sporadically.
I'm mostly just concerned about because I've had a few allergy issues today. Me snuffing.
Oh.
In the audio. Okay, that's good. Because that can be super annoying for podcasts.
Weird repetitive body sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't sound good already, does
it? Well, when you put it that way.
Oh god. I don't know why I keep trying to make straight lines with this dagger brush.
What kind of brush is that again?
I've got like this tapered, pretty long, narrow, flat brush. I think.
A dagger brush. So it's like.
It's this guy.
Oh yeah. Did you buy it like that?
Yeah.
That's legit how it came on the shelf.
I mean, it's kind of bent, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I recall seeing one like that.
Yeah, they don't have them at most places. They definitely don't have them at Michael's.
Now, when I was in Asheville area, I went to a place called Cheap Joe's. And Cheap Joe's Art Supply, I guess, is a thing down here. It was the first one I had ever been to. And there wasn't much that was cheap about it, but it did have some interesting brushes and brush lengths. And you could pretty much get almost like a handle in any length along with the brush head.
Oh.
And I made the mistake of thinking that the kid who was stocking would think it would be funny if I muttered.
I don't know.
They only allowed like 5 people in the store, so we were really spread out. But I was like, or you could just take a hacksaw to this, right? And he had some kind of sales training where that was like a big no-no.
I'm taking a saw to so many brushes.
He looked at me like I was about to be art store canceled. Like he almost had his Twitter in hand. Was like, some guy just suggested to cut a brush handle. What are you going to do next, you barbarian?
That's
You going to cut the actual bristles?
Yep, never done that either.
I have absolutely mangled tons of materials just to figure out if I could.
I mean, if it's on its way out, you might as well try.
Yeah, oh yeah. I agree.
I
mean, because really...
There's no code.
Brushes, like raccoons, are not going to live forever.
No, they don't last very long. I'm not sure the raccoon part.
And you are welcome to use that.
Yeah.
Whenever you see fit. And
because one of those raccoons, they're so brush-like.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm at a point where I can't tell if I like this or if I hate it. I think it's the fact that I can't look at it straight on because of this camera angle.
I think it's an interesting illustration, and that you got a lot of really, I think you got a lot of really nice definitive lines in there, and it's everything that mine is not. So I'm lacking all those attributes. So I'm liking what you did right now.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was just like looking through all of the Bernie Fuchs and Van Kaufman stuff. But I think that might have got me in a bit of a detailed-oriented state. So I kind of want to figure out. I want to stand back from this in a little bit and see what doesn't need to be in there anymore.
Yeah.
I definitely don't hate it. We could be friends. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm most certainly done with this. In a bad way, where I need to just sign this and just accept whatever comes my way. I can see the PaintCast podcast email just flooding this next week. What have you done? What have you done?
Like complimentary emails, or like you get like hate mail?
No, I've received a few that I made the mistake of reading for the podcast, of people who I think that they're being helpful, but really they're just kind of pointing out obvious kind of beginning hiccups, like changing some of the format or changing the length.
Of the podcast?
Yeah, or me not being a terribly interesting person to hear speak. And I'm like, I'm right with you there, pal. Like, I'm not disagreeing. I just have to make sure that I don't read too much of that going forward.
Wow. Yeah. Ignore
that. Because it's just supposed to be a fun way for me to actually meet other artists who I follow.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I've met you before, but it's nice to actually get to know you.
Yeah.
No,
and I mean, it's always... Yeah, and then it's always great to be able to make fun of me with Jackie, and
I mean,
Jackie knows. Jackie spent way too much time around me over the years, and she's actually seen some of my my market hijinks
Yeah, there was something about a cow sculpture I was supposed to ask you.
A cow sculpture?
I don't remember. There's something dressed up. Was it a pirate? No. Oh.
I did. I had a life-size pirate in the beginning out at
No,
the.
I think you told me about that the first
Yeah.
video.
No. Is she asking about my cow portraits? Because for a little while I did a series of like formal bovine portraits in in Hawaiian shirts, and they were received surprisingly well.
That's amazing. But also, wow. They were received well.
Yep.
What? It's awesome. You never know what people want.
No, you don't. Oh, and I just messed up my angles there. Maybe I should just stop. Yeah, I should probably just stop painting and just let this be whatever it is. And I really want to go darker. Like, I feel compelled to put some dark violet back in these palm trees for some reason, though I don't think it's actually going to help my cause. No, it didn't help at all, really. Okay, that's it.
I'm going to take the tape off here real quick then.
You, are you finished? Do you feel like that's I'm
at a good place. I think just because my phone's in front of me, I haven't even been able to get a chance to like look at it straight on. It's a real weird angle.
Yeah.
But I could probably force myself to be done within like 10 minutes. But I don't make any promises because I said that last time.
Yeah.
But something like that, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be doing any more car butts anytime soon, but thank you for coming on and painting and shooting the shit with me again.
It's always
Steve.
a pleasure.
And one more time for viewers who don't know who you are or how to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
My Instagram is Steve_Mercer_art. And that's the best way to find me.